Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Just a reminder, NoDQ.com and NoDQ&A video t-shirts are now available on ProWrestlingTees.com. You can check out the link in the description box. Feel free to support my show and NoDQ.com by getting a t-shirt. With that being said, let's get down to your questions here from spring.me/Aaron Rift. First one today comes from Joey Jojo. Do you think that the Seth Rollins nude photo scandal will hurt his career? I doubt it. Triple H has already spoken publicly about it, stating that it was an unfortunate incident and nothing more. It is Seth Rollins' personal life, and as long as he's not breaking the law, I doubt that WWE will take any kind of serious action against him, if any at all. One thing I don't understand is why celebrities feel the need to take these pictures in the first place, knowing that there's always a chance that they could be leaked and it could damage their careers. But at the end of the day, it's a free country. Their private lives are their private lives. They have the right to do what they want if they're not breaking the law and they're not hurting somebody else. So in the case of Seth Rollins, it's his problem, it's his business, and as long as he can go out there and he can perform his duties, I don't see any logical reason why WWE would punish him or bury him down the roster or something. I just don't see it happening unless this continues to blow up and there's more to it and there's more drama. And if WWE continues to get negative press about this, maybe they would do something. But I'm guessing that WWE is just going to hope that this goes away and it'll cool off and things can just go back to being normal. All right, this one comes from Songwriter John. Hey Aaron, happy February. What do you think are the worst 3 WrestleManias of all time? I always put 27 at number 1, 12 at number 2, and 25 at number 3 when you just had one huge match on the card to remember it. And do you think 31 will be worse like the rest of them? Please answer in video. Well, a lot of people are very negative on WrestleMania 27, and I would say it's the worst of the recent WrestleManias, but I would put 27 easily ahead of WrestleMania 11 and WrestleMania 13. To me, 11 and 13 are really bad, and I forgot about 9 as well. 9 is right up there among the worst WrestleManias. WrestleMania 13 at least had Steve Austin versus Bret Hart, which in my opinion is the greatest match of all time. So I wouldn't put WrestleMania 13 at the very top. 9 and 11 are the most serious candidates for worst WrestleManias. And 13 was memorable for one match. 25 was memorable for one match. WrestleMania 12 was memorable for one match. But with 9 and 11, you had no real standout match on either of those shows. And with 27, at least 27 had Undertaker and Triple H, which was awesome. But yeah, 27, in my opinion, would be the worst of the recent WrestleManias, followed by 26 and 25 if you take away Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. All right, this one comes from KidRav543. Hey Aaron, do you think that there's a chance of seeing Rock versus Triple H at WrestleMania next year? They had a segment on SmackDown last year, which was kind of comedy, where they got in each other's face, and then there was a stare down after the Rumble match. There's always a possibility of that match happening, but with Rock's schedule, it's very much up in the air that he's even going to do a WrestleMania match, and I think if he was available for a WrestleMania match, Rock would probably want to have a different opponent do something that he hasn't done already. Triple H, yeah, that would be a cool match to have them go out there and relive their classic feud one more time. But it's that case of been there, done that. I think Rock versus Brock, even though that match did take place, that would probably be a bigger box office draw, so to speak. And there's other options you can do. If Roman Reigns continues to grow as a top star, you can always do Rock versus Reigns at WrestleMania 32. But once again, a lot of it just depends on The Rock's schedule and if he can do a match at WrestleMania. And, a match with Triple H, certainly a possibility. The fact that they even teased it just goes to show that, it's at least under consideration by WWE as a possible WrestleMania match, whether it happens at WrestleMania 32 or if it happens a couple years down the line, who knows. All right, this one comes from Alistair Keffer. Hey Aaron, love the show. Was there a time you ever stopped watching WWE, WCW, or TNA? Thanks, hope to see you at WrestleMania. Ever since I started the website, there hasn't really been a time where I stopped watching because it's my job. But when I was a kid, there was only really one time where I kind of got out of watching wrestling for a while, and that was towards the end of 1992. And, that was a period when wrestling was really starting to decline in popularity and from a creative standpoint as well. And it was only a very short time. That was literally like 2 months that I stopped watching. And then I started watching again and never stopped after that. All right, this one comes from PineBoy19. Why is it that Chyna is blacklisted in WWE, but X-Pac, a guy who did a video with her, is still allowed on WWE television? Well, the short answer is WWE are a bunch of hypocrites, but I think there's more to it. I think with Chyna, there is some hard feelings there. I think maybe not so much with Triple H, but maybe Stephanie. Maybe Stephanie feels uncomfortable about Chyna going into the Hall of Fame. I mean, when Triple H answered that question, he definitely came off as a little bit uncomfortable, like he didn't want to talk about it. So there might still be some hard feelings there, emotional feelings between Triple H and Chyna and Stephanie and Chyna, and they all just feel uncomfortable about it. I think it'll happen eventually. I think Chyna will go into the Hall of Fame. It's really, it's very much hypocritical by WWE to not have her in when you've had guys like Mike Tyson in the Hall of Fame. I mean, come on now. Yeah, Chyna did this stuff, but at the same time, a lot of people that have gone in the Hall of Fame have done bad things. And what Chyna did is not even illegal. So yeah, there's the whole issue about Googling her name and, finding adult pictures. I mean, it's a cheap excuse to not put her in right now. But I do think one of these days things will work out and she will go in, just like Bruno did, just like the Warrior did. I do see it happening eventually. All right, this one comes from Raw is War 98. Hey Aaron, I was watching the Monday Night War episode about Sting and Undertaker, and they said Sting was originally going to be the leader of the NWO. Do you think this would have been a good idea? I remember back during the time period that when Hall and Nash went to WCW, there was all sorts of speculation about who the third guy would be, and there was talk about Sting, there was talk about Luger. I don't think anything would have had the impact that Hulk Hogan had. It's easy to say that because of Hogan and his involvement with the NWO and how it changed the business, but I think if Sting turned heel, it wouldn't have worked. And as we saw years later when Sting eventually did go heel, Sting as a heel just doesn't work. And I think it would have backfired. I think it might have had some degree of success because of Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash were a big part of the NWO's success, no doubt. And, Hogan just as much can take credit for the success. But, I think that Hogan turning heel was the right move because that's what people wanted to see. They were tired of the red and yellow Hogan, and Sting still had mileage as a babyface. And, Luger could have done it, but wouldn't have had nearly the amount of impact. I mean, it was really, Hogan turning and the magnitude of that combined with Hall and Nash that really made the NWO something spectacular in the world of wrestling. All right, this one comes from Kai BF. Aaron, do you think it would be better for WWE to debut the Ascension as Triple H and the Authority's lapdogs? Would have given them more status and be much better than J&J Security. I don't think so because you have to look at what J&J Security are. They're basically punching bags for the baby faces. So if the Ascension had been in that role as the bodyguards, they would have just been taking punches for Roman Reigns and taking flying knees from Daniel Bryan. That would have been their role, and they just would have been geeks. I mean, that's what J&J Security are. So if the Ascension were treated seriously as, monster bodyguards, similar to Diesel when he was Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, maybe that would have worked. But clearly the role of J&J Security is guys to take bumps for the baby faces. I mean, that's what their deal is in WWE. So if the Ascension was in that role, I mean, they would probably be worse off than they are right now. All right, last question here from Big Marcus 1995. Hey Aaron, do you think the WWE will have a Raw show or pay-per-view in Hammerstein Ballroom again? Please answer in video. Highly unlikely, and unlikelihood is my answer to that. I think that WWE, first of all, from a financial standpoint, not really a logical move because it's a very small building and you'd have to charge an arm and a leg to even come close to making as much money as you would get running in a full-size arena. It's expensive. It's not worth it from a financial standpoint. And the other obvious reason is the crowd. WWE likes to control the crowd as much as possible. They don't want the crowd rejecting all of their ideas and rejecting the baby faces and cheering for the heels. WWE wants to avoid that as much as possible. And doing another show in that arena, those fans are just going to completely hijack the show and make themselves the stars. So WWE is not going to do it. I would be very surprised if they ever ran in that building again. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A Video. Thanks as always for watching. Tell a friend on Facebook and Twitter about NoDQ&A Video, and I will see you guys next time.